a simple time where I did not know how to cheat or lie. Oh darling, don't you act surprised and pretend like you've been perfect all your life. But you don't think things through with your mind. You just sit and judge everything you see with your eyes.
But right now, my friend John, who runs the place here, has a few words he'd like to say to you. John's been good to me. Been starting to do more shows here with him, and he's just very supportive of the scene in general. So please give it up for Mr. John Black.
That one, and give it up for Aaron Rowan and the beautiful acts here tonight and you people. You know, this isn't traditionally the way things end in a musical tune. Is someone comes up and tells a story, we twist them into music and we twist them into poems. And then there's another something about tonight that I just wanted to bring to people's attention, is there's a lot of people in surrounding areas across the country and even in our town that are, like myself, have a mental health issue. John Black, the proprietor of Peer Recovery Art Project, a graduate from the university with Phi Kappa Phi honors, is a person that at age 25 had an onset of schizophrenia. You know, are you folks aware that the ages between 18 and 25 are when people are sometimes taking from their friends, their families, not so much physically, but sometimes the mental health disease has a profound effect on how they maneuver life and how they are seen by others. So one of the things that I'm doing tonight is I just want to tell you a little story about myself, being lost in the city of Modesto and finding my way into the music scene and belonging to something other than myself. Being able to be of service in the community and to be able to find my place where I could recover, and then again in turn provide this beautiful space here for other people to come and share their ideas, their music. We have all types of groups here.
When they say that come to shoot, you get down and down and down and down, down, down. When the music flows right through, you get down and down and down and down. Why don't you hear your mother? They're yelling, what's the matter? You're down and down and down and down. You're waiting on the kisses that always make it better. You're down and down and down and down and down. When the fun flows right through, you get down and down and down and down and down and down. When the Holy Spirit moves, you get down and down and down and down. And when you hear the weatherman cursing at the weather, you're down and down and down and down. But waiting in the water will only make you wetter. You're down and down and down and down and down. I remember days whenever I hear your voice, I get so carried away. I tell you, it wasn't wise, I knew then, but too late. I adored you whatever way it went down. It may leave me crying and singing and playing piano, but when you hear the weatherman talking up the weather, get down and down and down and down. He's waiting.
When I was a young man, I had no idea that I was going to be the one that was going to be afflicted by a hideous
Going to school,
I found out that there's a couple of reasons why people have illnesses that might affect them. They could be stress, they could be young and they're getting too many things going on and just don't have the proper support, so it could activate the disease. And in my case, that's what happened. So I was in Detroit, wound back up in Modesto, where my mother and father take care of me, and there was no hope in my life. But things changed. One day, I was walking downtown Modesto, where I always wanted to be. When I was a young man, before I had this illness, I was a musician, lover of music. Went to San Francisco all the time, seen those legends in the blues when the history in rock and roll was being made and the folk rock scene was alive in the 60s, and I love that. But with the onset of the illness, it persecuted me to listen to music. So I was sitting in a little clubhouse downtown and somebody started playing music. And for the first time in 3 or 4 or 5 years, the music wasn't talking about me. It was inspiring me to listen more. So those steps went on to trying to find myself a place to belong in the community, and I was able to get the proper treatment and the proper care and support of my peers. And then I wound up coming downtown at a local theater here across the street, by the way, there, and she asked me a question of all questions to be asking me. Would you like to help? Before I knew what I was doing, I said yes. And that started my belonging to downtown Modesto. So we have volunteers here today. Jonathan volunteering with us. We have Aaron Rowan, is more or less a volunteer in his own right, a professional, well-established promoter here in the town. And I'm up here to tell you that there's no shame to that game. You know, I'm 60 years old now, almost, and my life is full. I have the education, and we know for a fact that people with mental illness are victimized way more often than they commit crimes, or way more often than they're violent. They have violence perpetrated on them for misunderstandings or people just bullying, you know, young people. And also we know that people do and can recover. Given the proper supports, which we believe at this center is peer support, which gives you an ability to express what your gifts are, which could be through music, through poetry, through painting. And we believe if we come together and be honest about who we are and build relationships with one another, when those tough times come, we'll have somebody to talk to. So I just wanted to put that in the room tonight, and this message is brought to you by the Cal Mesa organization, and it's a mental health funded program that was brought about in California by the Proposition 63, which was approved by the voters in 2004, and now it is the Mental Health Service Act, and that's how this particular gallery is funded, and that's how this speaker bureau that I'm talking about today is funded. And now we're not going to stop with just a speaker bureau. We're going to go out and initiate in Stanislaus County our Healthier Community Arts Initiative, where we're going to play music, tell stories, do films, your stories, our stories, music, have all of us come together to support one another, regardless of who we are, just so we can have a healthier community for us all to live. So I want to thank you all for coming tonight. And it's a little bit of a serious thing, but I wanted to get myself into some audiences where I know the people care. Because you know why? Because we're in downtown Modesto. And I want to thank you. So give yourselves a hand, and thanks for listening to me tonight.